Hello everyone and welcome back to another art video. Today I am reviewing for you this little watercolor palette that has been super viral on Instagram and I couldn't resist getting one for myself. It's a very nice palette. This comes from Woomer. It comes packaged just in a plastic sheet and this is the label. Interestingly enough, we do have all the informations about the pigments, the colors, and the light fastness. We have as well a little sheet of watercolor paper in which you can do your swatches. And this is basically it for the packaging. The palette is just really portable. It's about 5 centimeters in height and length. It's a very tiny square palette. I just wish it had a little hook chain or something to just clip on your bag or your pockets. But it's very nice. It opens up and it has quite a bit of a palette surface to mix your paint, but not that much to be intrusive when you are out and about. It holds 9 watercolor half pan. They are extruded, but they don't come out, so it's something to be aware of. I had some difficulties in getting this water well to stick to the palette. Eventually, I managed to clip it on. It's just quite inconvenient in the position where it is. I wish there was a hook for your finger. But let's get into the color. Although it's a very inexpensive palette, I was impressed that they have pigment information and color information. This yellow is yellow light fastness of 4, and the pigment is PY13. It's very bright yellow, quite warm as well. We do have oriental orange, light fastness of 4, and pigment is PO13 PR242. The next color that we have is a permanent red, which has a light fastness of 5 PR254. I was mentioning as well there is an indication of the opacity, and this is the first color that has no opacity at all. We have a quinacridone rose for light fastness PV19. Sorry about the camera, I don't know what's going on with that, but I couldn't get to focus properly. I hope you don't mind. We have lilac purple, a light fastness of 3, PR122 and PV23. This, I wasn't happy with this color at all. It's not pigmented as much as I wanted to. But the next color is cobalt blue, very transparent as they say, light fastness of 5 PB28. This is more a cerulean than a cobalt, but I really love this because it actually acts like a cerulean, and cerulean is very expensive. Ultramarine blue, light fastness of 5 PB29, and this is another transparent color. And then we have a phthalocyanin green, light fastness 5 PG7 as a pigment. I don't know if I ever gonna use this green, it's just so bright. And then we do have a Piang Grays, a light fastness of 4 PG7 PB15. I'm gonna do a little painting example with you just to experiment with this paint to see how they works and give you my first impressions, and as well tell you a little bit more about the colors. As you can see, I already have drawn my picture. This is a view of a church in a town called Ortisei in South Tyrol in Italy. So the first thing that really came to my noticing is how difficult these colors are to re-wet. I didn't spray the color beforehand in order to get the water on the top of the color. The only thing that I've done is just doing this little swatch on the paper that we've just seen. Yet, I found quite different the consistency between the warmer color and the lighter color. For example, this is a cobalt blue, which I would like to call a cerulean blue for all purposes. But it's very difficult to re-wet. It took a lot of water to get a little bit of pigment out of the pan. This is not true for the first three colors, for example, the yellow, the orange, and the permanent red. They are really, really pigmented, and it's very easy to get colors out of them. The next thing that really jumped to my mind is that we do not have any brown. I know that it's quite easy to make brown, especially because we have that gorgeous orange and the permanent red. We can combine it with, I don't know, a little bit of the gray or the blues, and you will eventually get some sort of browns. But if I have to make my own palette, I would rather have a couple of browns than a green. It's so much easier to make up your own green, if you know what I mean. But this is just a preference in terms of paint choice, color choice in your palette. So far, nothing to complain about. A positive thing that I've noticed is how easy it is to mix the colors together and to get a large variety of shades on the color. This brand is from Asia. I'm not sure if from China or Japan, but they remind me so much of the Koh-i-Noor watercolor. It's a similar texture on the paint, similar consistency as well. And the way they blend with each other, it absolutely remind me of those, which I do love. And it's so difficult to get here in Ireland that I'm using my very tiny Koh-i-Noor palette very seldom, very sparsely, because I don't want to use them all and I leave them for special occasion. But these definitely have the same feeling, and I'm kind of in the suspicion that they may have similar composition. All in all, I kind of like the palette, how it's shaped. It's very handy if you are working on the go. It's less handy if you are in a studio type of setting. It's really flimsy and it tends to move on your surface. So it probably would be easier if you hold the palette, but on the other hand, you don't have any hook, any loop underneath to put your fingers inside and hold it steadily. So it's a bit of a miss, in my opinion. It could have been sturdier and sit on your table, or it could have had some sort of implementation to hold it. Apart from that, once again, it's a very nicely built palette. We have enough mixing surface. We have a nicer range of color. And funny enough, you get all the informations about the colors, light fastness, transparency, pigment composition, which is something that you don't normally have in an inexpensive watercolor palette. I have to be honest, when I received it in the post, I thought this was some sort of a gimmick or a paint palette for children or not artist paint. But as I used it more and more, I found that The quality of the color is actually very nice. They are really vibrant color, really pigmented. Apart from a couple of exceptions, uh, I see myself using those colors in my everyday watercolor work. The only the only negative side is that I don't know if I would be use this palette rather than taking the paint out of the palette and put it in my regular size watercolor palette, just because it just miss a tiny little bit of portability, of handy sturdiness. You know what I mean. The other thing I want to mention is the little water well that holds the palette together when it's closed and then somehow clips on the palette. It's handy, but if you are traveling around, you probably have a water bottle or a paper glass with you. I don't think it holds as much water as is feasible for painting with watercolor. It's a nice idea. I don't know how usable that is, but yeah, once again, I never really travel without having my proper water vessel when I'm using watercolor. So, where can you find them and how much are they? I bought mine online. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on the Woomer website. All the links are below in the description. I've seen prices varying from €15 up to 25, depending where you buy them. I would probably recommend checking out Amazon. It's, I think, the best place to go. I, from the time when I bought this to the time when I'm filming this review, I couldn't find the same brand anymore on Amazon. You can find similar palettes with the same exact colors, same shape, and everything like that under a different brand. I don't know how to explain it. If you wish, I might reach out to the people that send me this palette and check where you got this one, where you can get this one. But it's a bit of a mystery for me as well. You can find a full painting review, a full paint review on my blog, visiting my website irishfarmart.com, and you can navigate to the blog part. I have a full article with all the information that you may need, links, and so on and so forth. If you would like to visit my Instagram account at irishfarmart, I will be really, really happy to have you as a follower over there as well. Thank you so, so much for watching. I will leave you to the rest of the painting and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.